Hello and welcome to episode 47 of the Oikos Family Podcast. I'm Sonja Wood and I'm so glad you could be with me today. It's such a privilege to be able to sit here and talk to you and know that you are listening to this and I'm able to have these few moments with you. So I'm just very appreciative of that and grateful that you have stopped by to listen to this podcast, because I would like to share with you today about a topic that's come up a bit during the course of this year, 2019. And we're really nearing the end of 2019. And I'm hoping this has been a very good year for you. And if it hasn't, because you've had all kinds of trials and difficulties, and that's what I've heard more of this year. I've heard a lot more about how difficult the year has been. And so I'm really going to be hoping that 2020 is going to just be fantastic, a fantastic, wonderful, blessed, strengthened, joyful, healthy year for everybody. But right now we are still sitting here in 2019 and 2020 is around the corner. And one of the things that kept on coming up through 2019, with it being a difficult year for a lot, was a topic that I have decided to call, for the sake of a title, Homeschool Blues. Now, we don't use the word homeschool much in Oikos because of the fact that we focus more on the learning lifestyle and how learning happens naturally or unintentionally, within the home. But it's not so much a focus on school as in doing school at home and the whole reference to school and what school is to us in our minds as parents. So that's why we tend to veer away from the word school to bring the learning lifestyle thinking rather into the mind, rather than the reference to school, because the reference to school can cause parents to get tripped up a bit in trying to replicate that in their home, and they don't really need to. And so then, because they're trying to and it's not kind of working out so well for them, they end up getting caught up in all of that and then getting all the struggles from that, and it can all just be avoided. So we keep away from the word school. However, this topic is called Homeschool Blues. And in actual fact, it's not my particular word. As I said, I'm using it for this podcast to talk to you about it. But it's come up at various places, either parents on the phone or at mom's retreats or when we're on ministry tour. And people have used this phrase, homeschool blues. And so I would like to talk to you about that a bit today. And I'm also going to remind you that, in fact, when I talk on a podcast about something, it's very often that I have discussed or spoken of that topic on one of the videos that we've done. So we're just hoping people will be able to also watch the video or go and get more on the topic, on a specific topic, by going to the videos. And you know where to go to the videos. You can just go to the YouTube channel, Oikos' YouTube channel, and subscribe and go to the playlists or search for a particular topic and see if that helps you. I hope it does. So about the homeschool blues. I'm wondering if the homeschool blues are the parents' blues or the children's blues. So I'm going to start with, let's say, the children. And the parent has said something to me such as the following. My child is miserable at home and they're really not enjoying being home educated or homeschooled. And they're just miserable. And I'm just wondering if I've done the right thing about bringing them home. So my response to that is, I wonder if a parent feels uncertain about a choice that they're making for their child, if that uncertainty is coming from the little bleating lamb, the child complaining about things, and so the parent is now thinking the child is unhappy. Or if the parent's concern about the child is based in, have they made the right choice and decision? As in, do they have peace with this decision? So if you're a parent and listening to this, I'm asking you, do you have peace, and are you sure that you should be home educating your children, that they should be at home because that's a choice you've made? You've made a choice for your children to be at home, and you know beyond any shadow of a doubt that that is the right thing and that they need to be at home. But now you bothered about the fact that one of your children in the situation is really unhappy. But the unhappiness isn't necessarily a result of you having them at home. maybe you think, maybe it looks like that. Maybe it looks like when they were at school, they were thriving and they're so social and they love being at school, and now they're at home and they're miserable. Maybe that's what the picture looks like to you. But if you, the parent, are certain of your decision for what is best for them, then that misery that you're seeing or unhappiness you're seeing in your child, the solution or the flip side of that shouldn't be in your thinking, well, maybe I should just put them back in school because that's where they were happy. Because let me just take this to another extreme. Let's say you needed to be transferred and your children were very, very happy in the province you're living in, and they've got a community, and you're happy in the church that you're at, and the community within the neighbors and the friends you've made and all the rest, and now you've got to move to a new province. Now you're not quite as happy in the new province or the new country or whatever it might be, the new town. It might not even be a province. It might just be another town, or if you're listening to this in some other part of the world, you might not call it province. You might call it a different state or a different village or whatever it might be. But now the whole family might take a bit of adjusting to this change. It might be that some of the members in the family are loving this change and loving the new village, town, province, and others are just not. Maybe the parents themselves are really struggling with the change, and so now they're blue. You know, they're not feeling full of joy and happiness about this situation, this change. But the point is, they know that it's right. They know that they needed to move to this new place. It was necessary. It was what was right. And so now what to do about the misery? There's so many things. It's like, first of all, accept that this is the right choice. That's number one, that we were meant to do this. So if we go back to Homeschool Blues, help your child accept that this is what it is. This is the decision that's been made for our family and for going forward and for your education and for your well-being. So, help them move on from feeling the blues as in referencing it back to school. Like when I was at school, I had friends and now I've got no friends and now I'm miserable. Move on from there. Help your child move on from there. Don't sit feeling badly that because you've brought them home and now they're miserable that they don't have their friends and now you've made them miserable. I don't think you must stay there. I think as a parent, if you are convicted and you know for certain that this is the right thing, then you need to help your child to know how much you care and how convicted you are that you have made this choice. Back to the example of moving home. As much as the children might struggle with the adjustment or the parents, whoever, you know that it was the right thing and you need to make the most of the situation and you need to make adjustments in your thinking about it. And it's really not helpful to keep thinking about how sad you are that your friends from that other town are not with you anymore, because that just takes people down into a slump, and it's really hard to be excited and happy about where you are when you constantly hankering over where you're not. It is not helpful. So I'm just suggesting to use this reference of a dramatic reference of actually taking the situation, not just from children were in school, now they're at home, but making it bigger, making a bigger reference in your mind, and maybe helping that child that's got the homeschool blues or the parent who's got the homeschool blues, and taking it back to the purpose and the reason for why you are in the situation. You're home educating because these were the reasons you chose to home educate, and now you're going to make the most of it. You're in this new town, village, state, country because these were the reasons. You don't have to, harp on the reasons or spend too much time there. You can actually, for a fact that this is right. Now you can move on from that place. And you can make an effort altogether, a team effort, to say, right, we know this is how it's going to be. There's no point in us, getting ourselves down in the ditch while the facts of how we would prefer it to be keep plaguing us, but rather let's say this is how it is. This is how we've chosen for it to be. These are our realities, and we're going to make the most of it, and we're going to be joyful because God said so. He said, consider it pure joy. So no matter how tough our trial is, we're going to think about the joy. So let's start finding the joy. And then really seek it out. Seek out the joy in the situation. Even if it doesn't look like there's anything whatsoever, there will be, and you will find it. And then you can help your child to find it. You can help your child to find that joy so that the homeschool blues will disappear. And then there's another way that this can be looked at, and that is how my own mother would have dealt with such a situation. My own mother would have said that we are blessed and we have many blessings to count, and so that's what we're going to do. And there's no place and no time for this being miserable. So the blues are not allowed. This is just how I was raised, you see. So it's different. It's not approaching it from the way of really having compassion and understanding about the person's blues and so on and so forth. It's just, you're not allowed to be miserable, and that's that. And here's why, and this is what we're going to do about it. It wasn't just like you can't be angry, full stop. You can't be miserable, full stop. There was training in how to not be angry and what to do when the anger comes. And then there was encouragement in not being blue, encouragement in why it's important to count our blessings and to begin to get joyful and how helpful that will be. So she was like that. That's how I was raised. That's how my mother was. She was just very, very matter of fact about it. And that's what it was. And so that's how it has to be. So I hope that either way, whichever example or direction you decide to come at with this, I do hope that the result for you is that there's no more homeschool blues in your home. I really pray and hope that 2020 will be a year of no blues, because if you see a little bit of blue creeping in, you can quickly chase it away with the ways that you have found works for each individual child. I mean, we've got, everybody in the household has got a lot of different individuals and different personalities. That's how it is. That's the variety, the good variety God gave us. So what's going to work for one individual in your child with regarding chasing the blues away is going to be different for another. So I'm hoping that you will chase your own blues away. If you, the parent, have got some homeschool blues, you'll find a way to chase them away, what works for you. And then you'll be able to help any one of your children that have the homeschool blues, have them chase them away too, and embrace 2020 in such a way that you will be equipped for any of those blues that might come along. You might suddenly hit a season whereby you identify these blues are knocking on the door and you cannot welcome them in. You can say, sorry, blues aren't allowed here, they're not welcome. And then hopefully by the end of 2020, you won't be needing to talk about or wonder about the homeschool blues. In fact, if you're talking about them, let's hope you will be encouraging others with your testimony of how you chase them away. So I hope that my testimony today has helped you chase your blues away, and I hope that your 2020 is going to be fantastic. So thank you for stopping by and listening to this podcast. Thank you for being there. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to look forward to sharing with you in the next podcast. So bye for now.